Yo guys, what's up? Rajdeep here, and in today's video we are gonna try and beat 102% AI at Bahrain. So we all know that in Bahrain the AI is very OP and they are like super fast at 110, which is practically unbeatable. But in today's video we're gonna use 102 AI and a default setup and see if we can actually beat the AI in a 5 lap race. The assist I'm gonna use is medium traction control and ABS. I'm also going to have pit assist on, but it really doesn't matter in a 5 lap race, so that is not going to play into the race itself. Yo, so there we go. We are going to skip the intro and get right into the race. So yeah, that's the default setup.
Okay, the run into turn one isn't too long, so
And it's lights out, and away we go. We have a great launch in comparison to Bottas over here in P1. We started P2, but he has caught up in the next gears. We walked down a bit in the third gear, but we outbrake him into the first corner and go wide to squeeze him out. He is on the inside, but we take a deep and cut in deep to get into the line, and we are on the racing line, and he is behind us. He is very close, though. He will have my slipstream. We do get a better exit out of there, and Bottas has fallen a bit back, so we are in P1. We started P2 and P1 for now in the 5 lapper. We are going to stay in rich mix and in high ERS for the time being. Now you will see that I will be changing my brake bias and differential from here. Now since we are on default setup, the brake pressure is 75% and the differential is
looking good from the start.
where the differential is 75% and the front brake bias is 60%. But in my setup that I use personally, I have the differential at 60 and the brake bias at 54. I also have wings at 3.6, but since that is not possible without pit stop, there's nothing to do over there. We are going to run 6.6 wings, which actually, to be honest, is not that bad. It's the car feels very balanced coming out of corners. There is not much oversteer. The balanced nature of the car is actually letting me push more in the corners. But what that has done in turn is that I am losing out on the top speed in this straight. So that's what I think. I mean, personally, I do see Bottas closing up to me in the minimap, and I can see that behind me as well, although he's not tugged into my slipstream. But we will break in early into this corner, trying to break the toe and get a better exit out of this chicane on the left side. Now let's see where Bottas is. He is closing in, but the next car that's Verstappen in his Red Bull is quite a way far behind. So the battle for the front, the battle at front for P1 is between me and Bottas. So he is 5 tenths behind me, like 0.58 seconds behind me. So that's not good news because on the next lap he will have DRS. So that's going to lead to quite a battle over here. We just break it a bit too early for this corner and get a good exit out of second gear. But Bottas is all the while closing up to me. Now I don't have much ERS left in the reserve, and since I want to save it for the next lap where Bottas will have DRS on me, I'm going to go to low mix for now. Now something interesting to note is that right now I can control the ERS settings, but the ERS deployment settings rather, but in 2020 I won't have these deployment settings. This will be under the control of AI, and as I say that, I get a beautiful exit out of this corner into the first five in the home straight. But you can see that Bottas is closing up all this while. He's just stuck into my slipstream. He sets the fastest lap for that matter. He's at a 129.9 and he is coming in too close and he sends it down the inside. He is on my inside. We do touch. He taps my rear right tire, but we get a better exit again out of the chicane and we are at front. We are still in standard mix and at low ERS deployment. We are going to save up some fuel and some ERS, but that has caused Bottas to go up my inside. I have to leave him the room because he was alongside me in the corner, but he has pulled ahead of me. And oh my god, he just brake checks me over there for no reason at all. I did leave him the room when he tried to overtake me, so I don't know what happened over there. But we do take the chicane well. We just don't cut into the chicane because of the dirty air from Bottas's car. But we'll try to have DRS. We do have DRS on the back straight, so let's see what we can do. We'll tuck into his slipstream, go to rich mix and to high ERS mode, even overtake for that matter, and we're going to keep pushing. We have a lot of ERS saved and he sent it down the inside from a long way out. We do touch our tires touch, come in contact, and I do get a warning for that matter that I had a collision with Bottas, and Bottas has fallen back. So I don't know if I damaged his car or something, but that was definitely contact and a dive bomb from way back into the some other realm. I just pushed my way forward. I just took some revenge out of what brake check he did to me in sector 2 in the last lap, and that's a healthy gap behind, and I can again go to standard and low ERS deployment mix, and there is nothing to do here except for breaking the toe, staying on the middle of the track instead of the racing line, and I just go down to gear 1 and just try and get a good exit out of that corner, and we see that behind me Bottas and Verstappen are battling. So there is a battle for P2 right now. From Bottas has slipped from the battle for P1 with me after that collision. I'm hoping which did not give him much damage, but he has fallen into the claps of Verstappen, and him and Bottas are battling right now. The gap to Verstappen is 1.9 seconds. It's a healthy 2 second gap. It's 2 seconds is a healthy gap as in it's a 5 lap race, so 2 seconds is good enough. But him and Bottas are very close to each other. They're just battling it out, and I think in the back straight, Bottas will have the power advantage, will have the straight line speed advantage, and will power past Verstappen. But let's see what happens. I am comfortably in the lead right now, and the gap behind me is not decreasing from what I can see. Bottas was not able to get past Verstappen in that back straight, but I think he will be able to get that position from Verstappen.
Remaining
He's
gap
just
behind is 2.0 seconds.
yeah, so the gap is somewhat the same, but as you can see in the top left that Bottas was just 1/10 behind Verstappen, so he's closing at the rate of naught. Him and Verstappen are literally one block on the minimap. Bottas is right behind his
This
tail.
is your final lap of the race.
Thanks, Jeff. We are on the final lap, and Bottas has gotten ahead of Verstappen, and so has Leclerc. So Verstappen losing 2 places on in one straight right there, and that is not at all good news for him. But
Gap
we
to
see that
teammate
Bottas has
is
fallen behind Leclerc
2.4
and is now
seconds.
in P3. So we are in the lead with Leclerc in P2 and Bottas in P3. But I am hoping that my teammate recovers the ground and gets Leclerc back. And he has gotten it temporarily. So we see that Bottas has the fastest lap and is ahead of Leclerc. But all that battling between those three, between Bottas, Leclerc, and Verstappen, has pushed the bunch behind, and they are now in like around a 3 second gap behind me. I am pushing forward with rich mix and rich ERS deployment as well because it's the last lap, might as well use everything. And for that measure, I go on to hot lap as well, just trying to get as much power down as possible. On the higher gears, I go to overtake mix and stay on rich. But since rich, there's the fuel is borderline, so we will go down to standard perhaps to make sure that we don't run out of fuel. Coming out of this corner, the fuel is really marginal. We are at 0.01 and that goes into the negative, so I straight away go to lean and make sure to counteract that loss of fuel. Now we are at nominal fuel, and we have a lot of ERS left. Let that stay at overtake deployment, and we will take the checkered flag for P1. Bottas does get
That's a
P2.
race win. You've really been great today.
Thank you so much, Jeff. That was a really great race.
What helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So yeah, Bottas did a commendable job trying to get over Leclerc and fought his way through Verstappen and Leclerc both to come into P2. We did take P1. We had a scuffle with Bottas over there, so we will have a look at the replay from what it looked like from onboard with Bottas. So we will have a look at that, and we will see what sort of damage did I cause to his car. Vehicle damage was set to reduce, but I think I did. So if you see on board over here with Bottas in the back straight on lap number 3, we are in his rear view mirror on the left side. We go on for a horrendous dive bomb and push him off the racing line over there, but there is no damage whatsoever. If you can see there, I did take the corner because I had I did a horrible dive bomb, but I did not cause any damage to his car. So that's it from me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching.